Was that you started or
It's live.
it's live?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, hi everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this Thursday. Today we have a little different spin on credentialing. I am teaming up with the credentialing peer from my team, Alina. She's a senior credentialing specialist, and we worked together for many years, helping providers to deal with credentialing, helping consulting credentialing, even to credentialing consultants. And today we wanted to touch on the topic that is super important and is affecting everyone that's doing credentialing. And hopefully we'll give you some insights on a better method of tracking credentialing. Since we know that credentialing is a time-consuming process, but we also get to be sometimes stuck in the process when we don't have options. And today I want to give you some inside information about a better ways to track application. And Alina, let's get started. So we're going to talk about the first thing is what is the best method of tracking application and when does that start? Like, where would you start your tracking point?
Usually, good morning, Olga. Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure. Usually, you start at the process when you submit a request to the insurance representative that you have certain provider, they're interested in certain plan, and you begin the process. So they send you the application that needs to be filled out. You look at the application requirements. You start gathering all the needed documents for the provider. So this also can take up some time. Once you gather the application and the proper documents, you begin building a plan of work for yourself and the steps.
Good point. The plan, yes.
Yes, the plan that you will be following throughout this whole credentialing process, like how you're gonna track the application, which methods of tracking you're going to use, how you're going to communicate with the payers, right? Because each payer has different ways of communication. For example, Medicaid in New York State, we always have to call them. They don't really reply by emails. Commercial insurances, most of them use portals where we have to send the request, or we have to get on a call with them or send an email. Again, like each insurance plan has their own
method of communication, right?
Methods that they want us to use. Yeah. So you want to be
where would they find this method if somebody who is just starting out credentialing or a doctor decides, hey, I'm going to do this on my own? Where would they find how to track the application after it went into the process?
Once you submit the application, either by email or through the portal, you will get the instructions on how to start the follow-up process. Right?
Instructions. Okay, so the key word is the instructions, right?
Yes.
So as you said, whether it's Medicare, whether it's Medicaid, regardless of the state, by the way, we learned doing multi-state credentialing that in those instructions is our direction, right? Will I call? Will I use the portal? You also mentioned emails. So I think what we want to kind of say here for this particular topic is that look at the instructions that insurance company is advising for you to follow and proceed forward after your submission with those instructions. Great. Let's look at another big point, and that's why we are well known for who we are, is relationships, networking, building relationships with their payers, especially with the provider relations team, network managers, provider representatives, all these great people that work very hard to help providers to be participating or to deal with their issues as a network provider. So why do you think, Alina, it's important to build these relationships with these people at the insurance companies who are pretty much the people we work with all the time?
Yes, so just like in our daily life, we build relationship with our family, friends, outside the world, we're networking. The same thing applies when it comes to our job. You want to maintain a good relationship with people that you work so they can help you in return as well, right? You never know what outcomes can come at the end. And plus, the benefit of having good relationship with the representative, you can get inside information from them that you can get just going on their website, for example. You can find out what specialties they lack, so you can provide those providers to them so they can build the patient panel as well, right? or there are certain specialties that they don't accept. So they will let you know all these details and all this information that is very, very
Yes.
crucial during the credentialing process.
And the committee dates, right? Sometimes we need to know when
Yes.
is my application going to hit the committee. It doesn't always happen the last Thursday of the month. Sometimes it gets carried over. What happens the second month? So it's important to have and maintain these relationships and to get the credentialing moving faster down the road to get that approved. And of course, the inside information is very helpful. And you pointed out a very good thing about knowing what insurance company needs. Maybe they don't need cardiologists in this particular area, but they do need mental health providers or vision providers. So we could be like a recruitment kind of in the position where we can actually say, hey, we do have these specialists, let's apply. Maybe they'll even speed up the process. Great insight. And the last thing I want to touch upon is the time frame of credentialing, right? Because that is such an important aspect of credentialing time frame. And everybody feels that you can get it done overnight. You can't. Then we have the 30, 60, 90-day thing, right? So, and this is not a perfect way to do credentialing. So 90 days seems to be the place where most credentialing tend to finish and get approved. But in fact, we do have insurance companies, including Blue Cross, United Healthcare, and few more that tend to push the application to over 120. And then, what do we do in that situation, Alina? What recommendation can we tell our listeners about if you are in the 120 pending status and you're not getting any response or any kind of change in the credentialing journey? What can we share?
Yeah, so unfortunately, that happens a lot of times in our world. The best approach is to keep emailing, keep calling the insurance payers and finding out what is causing the delay. They might have their own internal delays, right? If you're not getting any answers at the end, you have to escalate it with their higher management. If there's still no response, you have to go to the insurance committee and file a complaint with the provider. And of course, during this process, you have to let the provider know what is going on and which steps you're going to be approaching to speed up the approval process, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point. Complaint. So, and this could be official and unofficial. So keep in mind who's listening to us. Every state has healthcare. It's called Department of Insurance that protects the rights of a healthcare provider, and they are positioning themselves to tell the insurance companies 90 days is a must for credentialing. If you're exceeding 90 days, if you're in 120, 180, and even more, you have a place to go. But first, me and Alina, we are recommending to let your representative know at the insurance that the application is behind. What is the reason? Share the reason, and then try to go up the ladder and step up to the executive team of that plan, and also let them hear you are the voice. They need to understand that you're behind, that insurance is behind in credentialing, and then use the state requirements. All right, Alina, I thank you so much. I don't want to hold our listeners. Thank you for sharing our insights, and everyone, we're looking forward to your questions. And if anyone is going through a challenge in credentialing, dial us up. We're here to help. Thank you so much. Be well. Take care. Bye.
Bye.